300 in the green room, man. Yeah, man. Aldi 300 is the guy who I call the greatest East Texas rapper of all time.
Wow.
Yeah. Now I heard low key through the grapevine that you kind of took that. First of all, let me even say that. Let me say this.
Yeah.
I'm the person who created that slogan.
Right.
And other people
took it and ran with it.
They took it and ran with it. I've seen other platforms and publications say the same about you, but I heard through the grapevine that you take it somewhat as a slug.
Yeah, I think that people, they call you that because they looking for some kind of name that don't, or some kind of title that doesn't put them at odds with whatever city they from, or whatever the game, the status of the game. They'll give you something. They want to section you on, like, you over here, you the greatest East Texas rapper. You not. It's like, stay at the little boy table. You ain't over here with the big boys. You over here at the little boy table. So I like to use that shit for motivation.
For sure. I want to say personally that in no way that's what I mean. In fact, nothing out of the state of Texas is little boy shit. Nothing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Texas, I say, out of all the places who has ever touched hip hop music, Texas by far is in the top 5 of the greatest to ever do it as far as the products that have come out of Texas. East Texas is a large area. One of the largest areas in Texas as far as consuming music, doing shows, fan base ever. So when I say that, I'm saying that, hey man, from this large part of the state of Texas, which is the biggest state, nobody has ever done it. But the crazy thing about it is that majority of the staples that you lay down aren't just East Texas staples.
Right.
They're not even just Texas staples. Right. You know what I'm saying? For somebody to come and do what you have done, I don't see it, not right now. You feel me? So for me, it's not no slug. You feel me?
Nah, I know you ain't saying that there's no slug. I just, you gotta. I just understand that I don't. Thank you, I should say. But the East Texas thing, I'm definitely wouldn't be who I am if not where I was born, raised, and all of that. I'm definitely proud of where I'm from. The rap thing, the music thing is a very competitive thing, and I definitely take pride in being from where I'm from a state, from this state and all of that. But in the pantheon of what comes out of this state, I don't know of many people who wore that moniker.
Yeah, nobody else. Yeah,
and so I'm thankful that they give me that.
Yeah,
I guess.
Sure. But you're looking bigger than that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in it for so much more. So yeah.
Wow, that's what's up. Being that you come from East Texas, which is basically a collection of small towns on the, of course, eastern part of Texas. Okay. Do you ever feel like you have a responsibility to put on for other people coming out of East Texas? Yeah, I definitely feel like that. It's kind of like my responsibility to kind of be in the know of what's going on in this big. And I don't think people really just understand how big that shit is. Like that, I don't even know like what could be considered that. Really, just East Texas is. What do y'all mean? What do you mean when you say East Texas? You say what? I consider East Texas is basically the collection of somewhat urban towns, everything in between Dallas and Houston, and a little bit north of Dallas. So is Beaumont in that? Port Arthur in that? Because I said between, because Beaumont is south of Houston. Somewhat southeast of Houston. Okay, even though the all of that part of that big ass swath of Texas, yeah, I would say that the Golden Triangle, I would say that's in there too. Geographically, yes, but right, Beaumont that would make UGK. Nah. So they're not East Texas. Nah, because that's not Southeast Texas. That's Southeast Texas geographically. Is Houston Southeast Texas? Houston is Southeast Texas. Oh, okay, but geographically, yes. But I'm saying for the way that we look at it through the music game
is what
we look at East Texas is we look at everything in between Dallas and Houston, which is Tyler, Dieball, Lufkin, Nacogdoches, Longview, even all the way up to Texarkana.
Like I say, I'm not really. If you ask anybody from up Northeast Texas, where I'm from, Longview, Tyler, and all that type of shit, they think that that's the only thing that's East Texas. If you was to ask them what East Texas is, Tyler, Longview, and Marshall is East Texas in a lot of people's eyes. And then maybe if you come down to the, Lufkin, Nacogdoches type, like
that's definitely East Texas.
In they mind, yeah.
If it's off the East Texas Freeway.
Okay, Houston is off the East Texas Freeway.
That's true, but yeah, it's like Houston is Houston.
Oh.
Houston is Houston.
And that's why we have a problem. That right there is why.
But so when you meet people and people ask where you from, have you ever said, yeah, I'm from East Texas?
Yeah. I mean, but also depending on, I meet so many people, so it depends on where we at. Is what we doing, where we at. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that I'm no bullshit neither, just to say that if I'm in New York, I'm from Texas. When they say, oh, I get introduced as somebody that's from Houston, I don't necessarily correct them because it's like, I understand what you mean. I'm in the Houston rap category. If you was looking me up, the suggested list is gonna be nothing but Houston. I do music with a lot of people from Houston, so just on algorithm alone, you're gonna be going off of that. And I don't feel like it's my job to sit around and like try to, no, but really it's the same as like Big Mike, right? Big Mike was from New Orleans the whole time.
ESG is from Louisiana. A lot of people,
No, well, yeah, ESG is from Louisiana, but I'm saying that Big Mike was from New Orleans the whole time. Man, I would have lost all kind of, man. Big Mike belonged to us, I thought.
I mean, hey, man, it's a tricky thing. But who are some artists from East Texas that you said that you feel like you reach out to and try to, you know what I'm saying? Because also it comes down to, I feel like, the amount of success that you've had nationwide. Mm-hmm. But when you spoke on, hey, come in here and you're doing, when people look you up, they're seeing you as a Houston artist. Yeah. You're also one of the first Houston artists to be, not being the first East Texas artist, to be able to grasp that Houston fan base and, and the Dallas fan base, almost as if you're from here.
Yeah, but that's because, it's because of a lot of things, but just East Texas wise, I believe that first of all, it's like in rap, in hip hop, there has to be like, in order to be a region on some music shit, in terms of hip hop, it's the collective works of people that have been working in a certain field for, a period and point of time to where there is infrastructure, music, hip hop infrastructure where they from. So when you're talking about a city like Houston being a region, then you track it back to, if hip hop is 50 years old, being born in 1974 or 3 or whatever to make it 50 years right now, then you look at Houston, Texas, basically has been, recording and releasing and distributing music since 84 or something like that. So you're talking about 10 years after the inception of the whole hip hop as a whole, Houston started making a contribution right then. So you go from 84 to 2024, you talking about 40 years of the 50-year total being right here. As you start to look at the game like that, you'll start to see that the people outside of the birthplace where it come from that have been having these long contributions or earlier contributions, I'm talking about a lot of people working towards one thing, right?
Right.
Those places have the fucking names of being Atlanta, Miami, you know, Los Angeles,
right,
the Bay Area, you know, and you know,
so on and so forth,
you know what I mean? So Midwest, you know, you start tracking these time periods. Memphis, you start tracking these time periods back, and it's like, oh, these people. And so when you talk about East Texas has not had that long contributions. So that's you. When you don't have that, you don't have no regional rap night. You don't have that. New Orleans, you don't have that. That New Orleans shit that goes all the way back, that bounce and all that. That shit is older than what you think. So you talking about they've been bouncing since 87, 88, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
type shit.
Probably longer than that.
And longer than that on some rap shit. So when you're talking about, and then you can say, oh, if you do the history on a lot of this shit, that's how you get these places saying these names. So people be fucked up about not having a name, and y'all haven't been working in that lane for as many years. All of this shit is time based, if you ask me. I don't see nobody that snuck in the door.
So okay, so it feel like for you to claim that title, for me, it feel like you're saying for you to claim that title is like hanging your nuts without even having a reason to hang your nuts.
It's like being Jeezy, right? From Macon, Georgia.
Facts.
Right? And it's like, he the coldest, the greatest rapper ever to come out of Macon. And it's like, come on now.
I liken it or compare it or see it comparable to Kodak Black being region Pompano. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
But before Pompano, that's whatever region.
Broward County.
Broward County. And Fort Myers, that's where that is and shit, right? Correct. If my geographics is right. All right, so Plies and, true, you know, and whoever was that led to there being a Plies, you know, because it Plies at this point is what, 18 years, 20 years?
Something like that.
You know, some shit like that. So, and it took that long to get a Kodak Black, you know what I mean? Like, so the time period of being able to do some shit is something you got to keep your eye on, you know. And I don't think that East Texas has been working as this is East Texas type shit, for as many years as some of these other places. So with that being said, you know, I just think, you know, we got a lot of work to do type shit. But it's Texas at the end of the day. Yeah. And definitely on the consumer part, you know, a lot of places would not have been what they are had it not been for East Texas consumption of that music, you know.
Facts.
So
I feel like most of the people who were coming up in Dallas and Houston back in the day and creating that independent way, I mean, it wouldn't.
You mean Dallas?
Dallas, I think Houston too.
Okay.
Most of the people who were coming up as artists independently back in the day, Dallas and Houston, like wouldn't be what they are historically, financially, like all kind of ways if it wasn't for the runs through East Texas. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agree? You say because the consumption, I feel like, I agree.
Yeah.
That's where the fan base is.
That's the game. The game is that right there. It was the word that you use, running through. And that's the and I'm telling you,
and
not
I
to say
it that way too.
Yeah, that's actually that's the game. You know what I mean? And it's nothing you can do to offset that. You know what I mean? This game is about running through places. It's about coming in and laying your tracks and your groundwork in places, and you know.
Okay, so as an East Texas artist, East Texas native, when those artists from major cities in Texas were making their runs through, as an East Texas person, how did you feel about that? Did you feel like it was unjust? Do you feel like they should have left more like staples and more, you know?
No. Okay. I don't think that, man. The game, man, I'm going to tell you something, man.
The game is what it is.
Yes, the game is the game, man, and it ain't to be cried about. It's to be seen and learned from. Like, there it is. It ain't no, you know, such and such and them coming through here, you know. And then the one thing that people always say that's like the The ultimate sign of failure in rap, in my opinion, is when you hear the statement of, man, all we gotta do is just work together. Man, when I hear that, I already know you on some loser shit.
So, okay, say that again. The ultimate
sign of, you know, not knowing what the fuck you talking about, or just, you know, from a standpoint of not knowing what the fuck the game is about, is when I hear somebody say, man, all we just need to do is just work together. And it's that's I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying that once you make that statement, it's a dumbass statement.
Your mind is not in the right place as far as.
Nah, you gotta get in there and cook. You gotta go up in that bitch and do what the fuck you do.
Even if you gotta do it all by your damn self.
Yeah, you gotta let life and your work and
your artistry.
You gotta let that shit take its course. You gotta let it grow. You gotta plant the seed. You gotta water it. You gotta nurture your own shit until it becomes something. You can't even be thinking about nobody else and what they need to be doing with you. You can't, if you got that kind of mind, everything in this is just, hey man, you and God, man, against the world, until it starts to, and as you start to gain traction, and what's gonna start happening is people gonna start to recognize you, and then people that you looked up to and admired is gonna start saying shit to you and stuff like that. It's gonna happen organically. You can't rush this shit. You can't just make it. You know, man, they need to just fuck with me. You can't. This shit gonna happen on its own accord. It's gonna go the way it's supposed to go.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
I agree 100%. Do you see yourself as that guy, or do you ever have visions of being that guy to kind of orchestrate the way people should kind of come about the music and leave more alleyways and kind of, you know, take people under your wing and be that person for East Texas?
I think that I am supposed to be the best me. And as I am being the best me, the same as others that have helped me along my journey, they was being the best them. They looked at me and seen me doing whatever, and they, hey, Al, let's, you know what I mean, collaborate. And that's kind of what I do. I approach this shit and from a standpoint of when I'm working and I'm working and I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm keeping abreast of the game at all times. But yes, to answer your question concisely, yes, I feel like that. But I also feel like that for people that's up and coming out of Houston too. I feel like or just not even up and coming, just when I see somebody that I work that I like the way they working and vibing with down here or anywhere that I have access to, I like to fuck with them too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like being pigeonholed, man. You know, I just want to do the best shit. And of course, I'm from where I'm from, and you're gonna hear it in my music and all of that, and you know, in my representation and who's around me or whatever. But to go along with that, man, I'm really fuck with real. I'm down with real. I'm down with real niggas. I'm down with real people. I'm down with authenticity. I'm down with organic relationships. I'm not necessarily trying to force nothing. I can fuck with you lightly, you know, and then the levels and degrees of how you fuck with somebody in this game can be so weird. So I might look out and see a young nigga, a young person that's doing their thing, and I might fuck with them on that level. But I might have somebody over here that's just going at this shit in a raw ass gangster way. I just fuck with them on some G shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have a criteria to how I really just be doing this shit. This shit is so vibrated. That's really why I can't even really just be discussed like that. And I didn't make it to where I'm at right now by thinking, hey, I need to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? So I just, this shit vibe based, man. I'm saying some shit right now that when I move around, man, I might do your next album. I might not have now feature. I might just don't want to rap with it. You know what I mean? Like anything, it's vibe based. But I'm open on some information. I'm open to collaborations. I'm open to dealing with people. I'm down with all of that shit. But don't hold me to the standard of I got to do something. You know, if you even have that in your mind, you're not ready for this shit, because this shit is not like that. You know what I mean? It's not like that. And when somebody fuck with you like that, it's a blessing. You gotta have that in your mind because motherfuckers do not gotta fuck with you. You know?
Real shit. So for you and your business, your art, your creation, your work, regionalism is not a thought.
It is a thought.
Yeah.
Because you can't help but play. You gotta play for the team.
The home team.
Hell yeah, you gotta play for the team. Motherfuckers is looking at you. They never y'all. I be telling people this. We didn't have nobody to look up to like that. We ain't have no rappers representing where we from to look. We don't have that. I'm from nigga. You from East Texas? That's some tough shit. That's some goddamn me. Not only will you shoot, kill, all of this shit like that, you got to be physical. Where I'm from, you can't turn down no fight. You got to be fight. You got to be tough. You got to, hey man, no matter how niggas sitting around, laying around, nigga, you got to be willing to play basketball or some shit. Throw the football. You got to be like athletic and physical. It's got a physical element to that shit. So when you couple that with the music and hustling, it's a way that a East Texas nigga move that's like, it could be seen by somebody in the city as country. It could be seen as, wait a minute now, you know what I mean? So without like a lot of culture, East Texas nigga can come off kind of
rugged and rough.
You know what I mean? Like, so you gotta, you know, for somebody like me, it's like you know, for somebody like me, it's that knowing that I'm that, you know, and knowing that I can move in these circles and that people fuck with me just on me being authentic and having a lot of course relationships with people that's from pretty much every city in Texas due to me being locked up so long. You know what I mean? So I fuck with so many real people, and we got authentic connections. So, you know, that's what a lot of this shit. And then a lot of this shit is journey, but it's your journey. It's like, what is specific to your journey that you're going through that's got to be intertwined with what's going on in your music. People don't be authentic to that shit. You trying to make a bop. You trying to goddamn me sound like some shit that's out. And I'm just living my life and making my music as I'm living it, to be honest. And selling this shit, selling culture.